Hi, second graders. I know we started learning about butterflies yesterday, but I wanted to take a few minutes to clarify some things and make sure that you are on the right track for your learning about butterflies. I know you can't see my face right now, but it's Mrs. Shepherd here, and I want to show you a bunch of things on my computer screen. So here we go. To build off of what you saw yesterday, there is something called the life cycle of a butterfly. We know that all living things on Earth have a life cycle. And this image that you're seeing right now should be fairly familiar after what we started learning yesterday. Butterflies start in an egg, then they are a caterpillar, which is also known as the larva stage. Then they change to a pupa, which is also known as the chrysalis. And then they turn into the adult butterfly, which can in turn lay eggs, and the whole cycle starts again. Now, here is something that I wanted to clarify with you. When we are reading books about butterflies, a lot of times the books are written about the same kinds of butterflies over and over. For example, this life cycle that you're looking at right now on my screen and your screen is the life cycle of a monarch butterfly. So, this type of caterpillar, this type of chrysalis, and then turns into this type of butterfly. But it is so important for us to know that each different type of caterpillar, each different type of larva will turn into a different looking butterfly. And that's why there are thousands and thousands of types of butterflies. So I gathered a few images from around the internet. I was looking and I wanted to show you some of the variety of different caterpillars. Now, again, the caterpillar is this just the larva stage of the butterfly. All insects have a larva stage. So, caterpillar is specific to butterflies and moths. Here's one caterpillar image. Here's a different one. And caterpillars are extremely beautiful and unique looking. This one, in my opinion, looks a little scary, but again, it's a caterpillar. So it's an insect that is going to turn into a butterfly or a moth, and it is in the larva stage. So when we see all of these different caterpillars, we know they're going to turn into butterflies that look different types of butterflies. This one is really cool. And you can see that they have a lot of parts of insects. They have antennae. Look at this one, it's so hairy. So scientists, entomologists, scientists who study insects, have studied butterflies extensively, and they've studied all the different types of butterflies and which butterflies come from which caterpillars and connected it all together. So we know each of these life cycles for each one of these types of caterpillars. So I'm going a little faster now, but I think you get the idea that caterpillars are very unique. So that if we are always talking just about monarch butterflies and the monarch caterpillars, we need to know that not every caterpillar looks like that. Just like humans are very different, or more, not actually like humans are different because we're all the same species, but just like dogs, there's so many thousands of different types of dogs. This is similar. Now, the second thing I want you to think about is the chrysalis stage. When the larva turns into a pupa, meaning this is where the metamorphosis happens. This is where the caterpillar is going to change and turn into a butterfly or a moth. The chrysalis is also going to be different for each type of butterfly. Notice all the different chrysalises in this image. They're each going to have a different type of butterfly that will emerge. Also in this, and this is more of an artist drawn depiction of different chrysalises, and I think it's really neat to see the variety that scientists have found all over the world. So I don't want you to be learning about butterflies this week and be thinking that there's only one way that caterpillars can look and only one way that chrysalises can look, because the reality is that there are thousands of different ways caterpillars look, and those caterpillars will turn into different butterflies. So the next thing that I want to do before I send you off on your learning is I want to read this book about the life cycle of a butterfly. Now, some of you are probably thinking, oh, Mrs. Shepherd, we already watched a video and it had it in it yesterday. But I want you to watch as I read now so that it really gets cemented into your brain. Butterflies are insects. They live everywhere but the hottest and coldest places on Earth. There are more than 15,000 kinds of butterflies. This butterfly is a monarch. So, just like we were talking about, if there's more than 15,000 different types of butterflies, that means that there will be larvae, 15,000 different looking larvae that will turn into those butterflies. Butterflies grow in stages. The stages of a butterfly's life cycle are egg, larva, pupa, and adult. A male butterfly and a female butterfly mate. The female is then ready to lay eggs. She finds a plant and places her eggs on it. The larva grows inside of an egg. A butterfly larva is called a caterpillar. Soon the caterpillar is ready to hatch. It chews its way out of the egg and eats the whole shell. And these images, boys and girls, on page 8 and 9 are very zoomed in. The larva, the eggs are tiny, 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 the eggs. And when the larvae first come out, they're tiny, 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 tiny. The caterpillar has a long body with 16 legs. The legs have claws or hooks, and they help the caterpillar crawl and hold on to plants. The caterpillar has strong jaws for chewing leaves. It spends all its time eating and grows very quickly. The caterpillar grows so much that its skin becomes tight. The caterpillar is ready to molt. Now, this is so interesting, boys and girls. As the caterpillar gets bigger and bigger and bigger, eventually its skin gets so stretched that it molts. The skin splits open and the caterpillar crawls out of its old skin, and the new skin soon hardens. So here's a picture of the caterpillar that has just come out of its old skin. So right here, this black is the hardened and dead old skin that it's come out of. The caterpillar eats, grows, and molts again. It molts 4 or 5 times. The caterpillar is now fully grown. It looks for a safe place to rest. The caterpillar drops sticky liquid from its body onto its resting spot. The liquid hardens into a pad. The caterpillar hooks its back pair of legs into the pad and hangs upside down. So that means that these are his last pairs of legs hanging from the leaves. His body starts to curl, and this is his head and his antennae down here. It's the J shape. It looks like a J. The caterpillar's skin splits open and folds away. The caterpillar has now changed into a pupa. A hard case called a chrysalis covers the pupa. The pupa changes into an adult butterfly inside of the chrysalis. So look at this stage. So here's the J shape. Here you can see right at the bottom, the skin of the caterpillar is coming off, and the hard chrysalis shell grew under his skin. So right here, it's covering off, it's shriveling off, and now you have just this little bit of its old skin hanging at the top, and it is completely in its chrysalis where it will change inside. The new butterfly breaks out of the chrysalis and it stretches its damp wings until they are flat. So again, this series of photos can show how the monarch butterfly emerges. Emerges means comes out of its chrysalis. Now the butterfly is ready to fly. It will mate and a new life cycle will begin. Scientists, I hope you have enjoyed reading this book with me. I'm going to show you one more, and I'm not going to read this whole book on butterflies, but this book, let me just get it ready. This book talks about butterflies. They're in the gardens, we know that. They're using their tube-like straw to suck up the nectar, the proboscis. It's showed really well in this picture here. Okay. Continuing on, they fold up their wings. It's a beautiful morning. They might get eaten by a monkey or a mouse, a bird, a lizard. In boys and girls, in all honesty, in Mountain View, the biggest predator of butterflies are the birds. They will swoop and just eat the butterflies. How do butterflies stay safe? Some hide by blending in with the world around them, camouflage. Some have spots on their wings that look like eyes. The eye spots scare away the enemies because the eyes look so big. The enemies think it must be a really big animal with big eyes, but it might just be a small butterfly. A rainbow of colors. A butterfly's wings are covered with thousands of tiny powdery scales. These scales create the insect's beautiful colors and patterns. Here are some butterflies from around the world. How many of them have eye spots? And look, there's quite a few that have eye spots that look like fake eyes to scare predators away. Okay, let's go. This is about a mother butterfly. Now here's the life cycle. I'll go through it quickly. You have the eggs that were left by the mother. Some of them have emerged and are now caterpillars. The skin is splitting. We saw that image before. The caterpillar will hang upside down, form a chrysalis, and after a few days or weeks, the chrysalis will split open and the butterfly will come out. Now there's another difference. Some butterflies emerge from their chrysalis after only a week or two. Some are in their chrysalis for much longer, maybe 3 weeks. Some are in their chrysalis for just 7 days. So the amount of time that it takes them to go through metamorphosis and change into a butterfly changes depending on the type of butterfly. Okay, here's a really simple image to help you remember. Egg, caterpillar, number 2, or larva, chrysalis or pupa, and then number 4 is the adult butterfly. Okay. All right, so I hope that was a good review of butterflies, that last book. I'm going to show us this life cycle one more time. Egg, larva, which would then be called a caterpillar for butterflies and moths. The pupa, which we call a chrysalis. This is where the metamorphosis takes place. And then we have the adult butterfly. Thanks for joining me, boys and girls. I'll see you soon. Have fun learning about butterflies this week.